It's been a while. It's been a minute since we've done one of these videos,
So,
but we wanted to come on here today and just talk about some things that are happening.
hi, everybody.
You never tell exactly when it starts,
We thought it started, but I don't think it did. So we're going to say hello again.
right? You can never say hello too many times.
It's always the same.
Yeah, so we wanted to talk about what's happening with the gym slash dojo now.
ZenQuest Martial Arts Center.
The pandemic seems to be coming, to a close. We
Yay.
hope, and we're going to be making some changes soon, right? So no, we don't want that. So we wanted to talk about that, right? So did you want to talk about some of the changes with the safety stuff we've been doing
Sure. So
for the last 2 years?
based on the current trends and the fact that it looks like we're finally going to come out of the other side of this pandemic 2 years later. Starting Monday, March 7th, we will be making masking optional. And so that's exciting news. And thank you to all of you who have been training regardless of masks or not. So we appreciate that. And optional means if you're still uncomfortable removing your mask while in the dojo, feel free to keep it on. There's no judgment there. And from there, we're going to start looking at other things that we can um, expand upon as far as the safety measures that we've been taking all along. Things like having additional time, partner drills and things like that, and um, you know, adding in other things that we haven't been able to do in a while. So if you get our current newsletter, it outlines a lot of the details there as well. So yeah, it's an exciting time. Looking forward to not being able to see people's faces. There's some people that started with masking, and I don't think we've really seen their faces yet. So
And
it'll
this
be
could
good
be
to
the
do
first
that.
time you're seeing our faces.
Unless you watch these videos, then see our
Right,
face.
true. Um, so like let me see what else is happening. We're looking at eventually changing the durations of the class back to longer. Right now, they had to be shortened when we were doing sanitizing, between every class. Eventually, we'll probably, do a little less of that and adjust the class times, again. But we're probably going to wait a little while on that until, we're sure that we're not going to lapse back into another surge and go back, be foolish to change the schedule and then have to change it back again
Yeah.
after a couple of months or something.
And some of the younger students' classes will stay the same because that's what it's always been anyway. So,
Right,
Yeah.
that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's interesting because we like the shorter classes seem better for their kids, to be honest. Like they it just works better. Like it moves along faster and we compress things a little more, and the duration is they just don't get bored or tired so much, which is a good thing. And we're also going to be restoring our team sparring soon. As it turns out, like in every Saturday in March, we have an event happening, like either advanced concepts clinics, or at the end of the month, we're going to have a seminar with Crew Mark Delagrati, which will be our first seminar in over 2 years. But so we'll I think the second week in March, right? Next week, is it? No, yeah.
So Monday, March 14th, we will be adding back in the team, competition training
On Monday,
Monday the
evening.
14th.
Right.
Yeah, in the evening
Yeah.
after regular classes. So we're going to unmask next week and then wait a week and then, start diving into some of the other things that we used to do, which one of those was competition training. And then not until the first Saturday in April will we add it back in on Saturday. Because like
Right.
Sensei Mark just said, we have a bunch of other stuff already scheduled and planned for every Saturday in March.
Right. So that that's actually open to anyone who participates in our adult classes, and you don't have to like go in there and be at risk, or like you're gonna get beat up or something. It's just an opportunity to work on mostly sparring type of activities more, and there's a little bit of a scale there. The people that compete go, of course, more intense and like that. So, but anyone can go.
Who trains? You can't. That's not just a
Yeah, it's
you
not
don't.
open to
It's not open
people who aren't
to people
part of the
who
school.
are members and who train on a regular
Yeah,
basis and things like that. So
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
important because once in a while you get someone who just wants to do that, and
and not trained,
that's not what it is.
which is weird. I mean, it's not
It's
even
not
safe,
safe to
really.
do that.
You
So
set yourself up for
yeah.
injuries and things when you do
So
that.
I just want to make sure everyone understands
But yeah,
that.
is there anything else regarding the
No,
safety
I
stuff
don't
and
think
stuff?
so.
All right. Also, if you've been away for a while and you talked about the mask,
I did.
right? Okay. So, if the mask thing was too much for you, you couldn't take that, whatever. We get it. That's fine. It was a pain. And like I think Sensei Connie said, we definitely appreciate the people who hung in and were willing to do all that to be able to continue to train. But if you're gonna, if you in the mode now where you want to return, you want to come back because we're gonna unmask, that's great. We're happy about that. However, some of our classes are actually full right now.
Children's classes.
Yeah, well, even some of the adult class. I mean, we're not gonna cap off the adult classes, but some of the children's classes have reached a point where they're at the point where we need to start a waiting list like for additional students coming in. So, make sure you sort of check with us before you just try to come back in and not touch base, because we may have to tell you like there's no space, and you'd have to be put on a waiting list or something, or temporarily go to a different day or something like that. So, all right. Right.
Yeah.
Anything to add about that?
No, just check in if you plan on coming back and haven't been around for a while. And in addition to that, you just might have to double check the schedule. If you, like I said, if you haven't been around, there may be some things that are a little different than, when you were here a couple of years ago. That would primarily refer to people who, were uncomfortable training during the height of the pandemic and things like that. So,
Right.
so just make sure you have an up-to-date schedule and give a call or send an email and ask about availability for your children in the different classes that we have.
And along those lines too, we're now forming plans to modify our uh, training rooms a little bit, to be able to accommodate, more students. And that will begin with expanding the back room and combining the back training room with what has been historically the fitness room, because that doesn't really get used enough. And to use it as a training room space is actually, I think, a much better move. So probably this summer we will do take steps to make that room bigger and sort of cannibalize the fitness room. And so, but we'll do that in a way where there shouldn't be any interruption in classes, that are available. And then possibly in the future, we might change the front room a little bit as well to, again, to be able
The
to,
front training room.
yeah, to be able to accommodate, some more students in there too. So,
Yeah, the goal eventually is to have one large training space with a divider, movable divider, so that when we have seminars and things, we have a connected space that makes that more conducive to a large number of people to attend, special events and things like that. So along those lines, I mean, we haven't really been able, people haven't really been able to come in and stand in the fitness room and watch classes anyway over the last 2 years. So with that in mind, we're looking at adding, you know, what do you call those?
cameras.
Yeah, cameras in the training room so that parents can sit in the waiting room and watch their children, train there. So really, we still haven't. One of the things that really won't change going forward is people congregating in, the fitness room to watch classes. It's just a distraction, and we do have equipment in there to use during classes. So sometimes can get awkward if people are trying to get the equipment they need to run a class and things, and it's overcrowded and things like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's just something to keep in mind as well.
right. Absolutely. So I think that's it. I think that's all we wanted to say today. And so we're pretty excited that, after all this time, it's been a crazy 2 years, as many people know, and but you know,
We made it.
we, yeah, I
We
mean,
made it. It was
knock on wood,
scary at
right now
times.
the
Yeah.
the the, the gym is doing really, really well for this time of year, and we appreciate it, and it feels good to know that when this whole thing started, we were like, oh my God, what are we gonna do here? This isn't good, and so it seems like the place is coming out stronger than it
Hmm.
really has been.
We adjusted. Our
So
students adjusted. We actually, there's some silver linings. The place is always clean. The equipment's always clean, and
yeah,
that's something that won't change. It was clean before, but it's cleaner. I don't want to make
yeah,
it sound like it wasn't clean before, but we've gotten into better routines with that. I think is a good
yeah,
way to put it. So that's I think a positive, a plus that came out of all of this.
right,
And hey, those of you who've been training with those masks on, I think our oxygen levels and cardio are probably been boosted because of that.
superhuman cardio now. We all
So
have. So
so that's a good
that's,
thing.
yeah,
So
for
it's
sure.
it's exciting to share and spread this news. So
Eh,
and we've
eh,
we've already seen people returning, and hopefully we'll see more of that. So
yeah.
we're looking forward to that.
Right. So thank you to all of the students that have hung in
Yeah.
the whole time, and there's
Thank you
been
so much.
many people that have done that, and welcome back the people who are coming back now
Yeah.
that we see, and new students and stuff. So thank you, everyone.
Yes. Have a great day, and we'll see you all in training.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.